Momotaro, the Peach Boy. Once upon a time, in a little village tucked between green mountains and a winding silver river, there lived an old man and an old woman. They were kind and gentle, and they loved each other very much, but they had no children of their own. Every morning, the old man walked into the mountains to gather firewood, and every afternoon, the old woman knelt by the river to wash their clothes. One warm afternoon, as the old woman dipped a cotton shirt into the cool water, she noticed something floating downstream. It was round and golden pink, and it bobbed along the gentle current like a little boat. As it drifted closer, she saw that it was a peach, the biggest, most beautiful peach she had ever seen. It glowed softly in the sunlight. She reached out her wrinkled hands and lifted it from the water. It was warm, as though it had been sleeping in the sun all day long. She smiled and carried it home, setting it carefully on the wooden table to share with her husband when he returned. When the old man came home that evening, his eyes grew wide at the sight of the glowing peach. Together, they decided to open it and share it for supper. But the moment the old man touched the peach with a small wooden knife, the fruit split open all by itself, and inside, nestled among the golden flesh, was a tiny baby boy. He had round, rosy cheeks and bright, curious eyes, and he laughed the sweetest laugh either of them had ever heard. The old woman gathered him up and held him close, and the old man wiped a happy tear from his eye. They named him Momotaro, which means Peach Boy, and from that night on, their little house was filled with laughter and love. Momotaro grew quickly, as children in fairy tales often do. He was kind to every creature he met. He shared his rice with the sparrows on the fence and sang songs to the crickets in the garden. By the time he was a young boy, everyone in the village knew his name and loved him dearly. One day, Momotaro heard that far across the sea, on a little island surrounded by mist, there lived a group of silly demons who had been taking treasures from the villages nearby. They were not truly wicked. They were more like naughty children who had never learned to share. Momotaro decided he would visit the island and ask them, very kindly, to give back what was not theirs. His mother packed him a pouch of the most delicious millet dumplings in all of Japan, and his father gave him a small banner that fluttered in the breeze. Off he went, walking along the winding road through fields of golden rice. Before long, he met a spotted dog sitting by the path. The dog's tail wagged hopefully. Momotaro shared a dumpling, and the dog said, "Thank you, Momotaro. I will come with you and be your friend." A little farther on, a monkey swung down from a maple tree, and Momotaro shared another dumpling. "I will come too," said the monkey, and soon after, a beautiful green pheasant landed on his shoulder, and he shared his last dumpling. "We are all friends now," Momotaro said happily, and the four of them walked on together toward the shining sea. They sailed across the calm blue sea in a little wooden boat, and soon the misty island appeared before them. The demon's castle was made of stacked stones, covered in wildflowers and moss. When Momotaro and his friends arrived at the gate, they found the demons playing a noisy game of drums and dancing in circles. The demons were round and colorful. Some were blue, some were red, and some were green, and they wore silly striped trousers. When they saw Momotaro and his friends, they tried to look fierce, but the dog barked so cheerfully that the blue demons started to giggle. The monkey did a funny somersault that made the red demon clap with delight, and the pheasant sang such a lovely song that the green demon sat right down and listened, with his mouth open wide. Momotaro stepped forward and spoke in a clear, gentle voice. "Dear demons," he said, "you have been taking things that belong to others, and that is not kind. Will you please give them back?" The demons looked at each other and shuffled their big feet. They had never really thought about it before. "We are sorry," said the biggest demon, bowing low. "We did not mean to be unkind. We were only lonely and did not know how to ask for friends." The demons gave back all the treasures they had gathered: silk scarves and painted fans, wooden toys and jars of honey. They loaded everything into Momotaro's little boat, and then the biggest demon placed one last gift on top: a small golden bell that chimed softly in the breeze. "So you will remember us," said the demon quietly. Momotaro smiled and promised that the villagers would visit the island sometimes and bring dumplings to share. The demons cheered and waved their big hands as the boat sailed away across the glassy water. When Momotaro arrived home, the whole village came out to welcome him. His mother and father held him close, and the dog, the monkey, and the pheasant were each given a warm bed of straw by the fire. That night, as the moon rose high above the mountains and the little golden bell chimed softly on the windowsill, Momotaro lay down beside his mother and father. The stars twinkled through the open window. The crickets sang their evening song. And Momotaro, the peach boy, closed his eyes and dreamed of friends, old and new, all sleeping peacefully under the same gentle sky. The Bamboo Cutter, Princess Kaguya of the Moon. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there lived a quiet old man who spent his days among the bamboo. Every morning, before the sun had fully risen, he would walk into the bamboo grove behind his house, where the tall green stalks grew so close together that the light came through in soft, shimmering beams. He loved the sound the bamboo made when the wind passed through, a low, gentle hush, like the world whispering a secret. He would cut one stalk, then another, slowly, carefully, and carry them home to weave into baskets and flutes and little lanterns. His wife would be waiting for him with a cup of warm tea, and together they would sit on the porch and watch the morning mist drift across the hills. They were happy, but sometimes, in the quiet of the evening, they wished for a child to share their peaceful life. One morning, as the old man walked deeper into the grove than he had ever gone before, he noticed a single bamboo stalk that glowed with a soft, pale light. It was not like sunlight or firelight. It was gentle and silver, the color of moonbeams. He knelt beside it and carefully, very carefully, split the stalk open. Inside, no bigger than his thumb, was a tiny, tiny girl. She was the most beautiful little creature he had ever seen. Her hair was as dark as the night sky, and her skin glowed faintly, as though she carried moonlight within her. She looked up at him and smiled, and his old heart filled with a warmth he had never known. He cupped her gently in his hands and carried her home. His wife gasped softly and then smiled, and together they wrapped the tiny girl in the softest cloth they had. They named her Kaguya Hime, the Shining Princess, and from that day on, the bamboo grove seemed to glow a little brighter. Kaguya Hime grew, as children in fairy tales often do, quickly and quietly, like a flower opening in springtime. Within a few gentle seasons, she was a young woman of extraordinary grace. Her laughter was like the sound of wind chimes. Her singing was softer than rain falling on leaves. She loved to sit in the garden in the evening and gaze up at the moon, and when she did, the moonlight seemed to reach down and wrap around her like a silver shawl. Her parents loved her with all their hearts. Every night, her father brought home a new bamboo flute for her to play, and every night, her mother braided her long, dark hair and told her stories of the mountains and the rivers. Their small house became a place of warmth and music and gentle happiness. And sometimes, when Kaguya Hime looked at the moon, her eyes shimmered with quiet tears. not of sadness, but of something deeper, like a memory she could not quite reach, a faraway home she could almost remember. One autumn evening, when the moon was the fullest and brightest it had ever been, Kaguya Hime sat with her parents on the porch. The air smelled of chrysanthemums and cedar. She held their hands and spoke softly. "Dear mother, dear father," she said, "I must tell you something I have only just remembered. I come from the moon. I was sent here as a baby to be loved, and you have loved me more than I ever dreamed possible." Her mother held her close. Her father placed a hand on her shoulder. They did not speak. They only listened. "The moon is calling me home," Kaguya Hime whispered. "But I want you to know, every night when you see the moon shining above the bamboo, that is me, watching over you, loving you still." The old woman brushed a tear from her cheek and smiled. The old man nodded slowly. They understood. Love does not end when someone goes away. It only changes shape, like moonlight passing through clouds. A soft, silver cloud drifted down from the sky, trailing ribbons of light. It settled gently in the garden like a feather landing on still water. Kaguya Hime kissed her mother's cheek. She kissed her father's forehead. Then she stepped onto the cloud, and it lifted her slowly, slowly into the air. She rose above the garden. She rose above the bamboo grove. She rose above the mountains. And as she went, she scattered tiny silver seeds from her fingertips. And wherever they fell, the bamboo below began to glow with a soft, pale light, a light that would remain there forever. The old man and the old woman stood together and watched until she was no more than a bright star beside the moon. Then they went inside, and the old woman made tea, and the old man played a bamboo flute, and the music drifted out through the open window and up, up, all the way to the moon. And every night after that, the bamboo grove glowed silver, and the old couple slept peacefully, knowing that Kaguya Hime was watching and loving them from her home in the sky. Urashima Taro, the palace beneath the waves. Once upon a time, by a quiet, quiet sea, there lived a young fisherman named Urashima Taro. Every evening, when the sun dipped low and the sky turned soft pink and gold, he would sit on the shore and listen to the waves. The waves came in slowly, and they went out slowly, in and out, like breathing, like the whole ocean was breathing. One evening, as the water whispered against the sand, Urashima Taro noticed a small turtle resting on the beach. The turtle looked tired, as though it had traveled a very long way. Urashima Taro knelt down and gently, very gently, carried the turtle to the water's edge. He set it softly in the cool, dark sea. The turtle looked up at him with kind, old eyes. "Thank you," said the turtle in a voice as quiet as the tide. "Thank you for your kindness." The next evening, the turtle returned. The water was very still. The sky was the color of sleep, deep, deep blue, with one bright star, then two, then three. "I would like to show you something beautiful," the turtle said softly. "Will you come with me, beneath the waves?" Urashima Taro looked at the dark, gentle sea. He was not afraid. The water looked warm and safe, like a blanket being pulled over the world. He climbed gently onto the turtle's back, and the turtle began to swim. Down they went. Slowly, so slowly. The water was warm around them. Small silver fish drifted past like tiny stars. Seaweed swayed back and forth, like grass in a sleepy meadow. Deeper and deeper they went, and the water grew quieter and softer and darker, until the only light was a faint, golden glow far, far below. At the bottom of the sea, there stood a palace made of coral and pearl. It glowed with a soft amber light, as though lit by 1,000 tiny candles. The doors opened without a sound. Inside, everything was quiet. So quiet. The floors were smooth as glass. The walls shimmered with the colors of shells. Pale pink, soft blue, the faintest gold. A kind princess welcomed him with a gentle bow. She did not speak loudly. She spoke in whispers. She showed him a room where the ceiling looked like the night sky, filled with slowly turning stars. She showed him a garden where the flowers were made of sea glass, and they chimed softly when the current passed through them. Chime, chime, chime. Each sound softer than the last. Urashima Taro sat down among the flowers and felt a deep, warm peace settle over him, like a blanket made of starlight. Time passed gently in the palace beneath the waves. Urashima Taro listened to the sea glass flowers chiming. One chime, then another, each one softer, each one slower. He watched the stars on the ceiling turn in slow, slow circles, round and round, round and round. He could not tell if one day had passed, or two, or many more. It did not matter. Everything was peaceful. Everything was still. But after a while, he began to dream of home, of the sound of waves on the shore, of the smell of cedar and salt, of his little house on the hill. "I think I would like to go home now," he whispered to the princess. She smiled gently and placed in his hands a small, beautiful box wrapped in silk, the color of the moon. "Take this with you," she whispered. "It holds your most precious memories. Keep it close, and you will always feel at peace." The turtle carried Urashima Taro back up through the dark water, up through the quiet, up through the warmth. They rose so slowly, past the silver fish, drifting like dreams, past the swaying seaweed, back and forth, back and forth. And then they were at the surface, and the sky was full of stars. So many stars. Urashima Taro stepped onto the familiar shore. He could hear the waves, in and out, in and out. He walked to his little house on the hill. The door was open. A candle was lit. He sat down by the window and held the silk box close to his heart. He did not need to open it. He could feel the warmth of every memory inside. The palace, the flowers, the kind turtle, the stars beneath the sea. He closed his eyes. The waves whispered outside his window, in and out, in and out. The candle flickered softly. The stars turned slowly overhead. One by one, the sounds of the world grew quieter. The waves grew softer. The wind grew still. And Urashima Taro slept, deeply, gently, peacefully, dreaming of a palace made of pearl, where the flowers chime forever, softly, softly, in the deep and beautiful sea.